Welcome back, everyone. This is Cody Hart for Government Accountability. It is Wednesday, June 19th, and I wanted to share some information that's been circulating relatively recently, but it's that pesky old subject of genocide, and what's been going across the entire world now is pretty much a proven fact, and how it's been escalating throughout the states. And most recently, the state of Kansas Attorney General has brought a lawsuit that you may or may not be aware of. And I thought I would play a bit of news section, from Fox News, and then there's also some comments from a familiar blogger that you guys are familiar with. So I will go ahead and let you watch it, and we'll go from there.
The state of Kansas hitting the big pharma's Pfizer with a lawsuit, claiming the company, quote, misled the public that it had a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine, even though it knew it was connected to serious adverse events. I'm quoting there. It hid that information from the public.
Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach says that Pfizer violated the state's Consumer Protection Act, and he joins us now. It's so great to have you on the program to talk about this finally. All these years after, there were vaccine mandates, and that was something that this, administration really pushed hard. For those of us who wanted to come to work and weren't necessarily on board, you had to get a shot or you couldn't make a living. So there's a lot at stake here, and I want you to just kind of lay out the case that you're making.
Yeah, you present a great scenario. Some employers mandated the vaccine. Other people had to make a decision whether they wanted to get the vaccine or not. And when people made that decision to get the vaccine, then they had to make a choice. And people made that choice very quickly with anxiety. Many people who chose to get the vaccine did so sensing that it was urgent and they had to do it for their own safety. And in that situation, it was crucial that the pharmaceutical companies speak truthfully and present all information that they have. And this consumer protection suit against Pfizer is based on the fact that they had information that was contrary to what they were saying publicly. And I can just give you two examples. One is for pregnant women. Pfizer stated and advertised that that the vaccine was safe for pregnant women. But as early as October of 2020, they had evidence from a study that they did on rats showing real complications for pregnancy. And then in February of 2021, they had information from 458 women who took the Pfizer vaccine, and the majority of them had complications relating to pregnancy. And then the other one is myocarditis. The CEO of Pfizer publicly stated that there was no link between any myocarditis and the COVID vaccine, when in fact they knew that there was a link.
So Pfizer marketed its vaccine as safe for pregnant women. However, in February of 2021, Pfizer possessed reports for 458 pregnant women who received Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine during pregnancy. More than half of the pregnant women reported an adverse event, and more than 10% reported a miscarriage.
Well, like me, I'm sure you're pretty alarmed by that. Pregnant women, over 50% reporting an adverse reaction, and 10% had miscarriages. Now, if this is supported in court, and we think about the millions of doses of vaccine given around the world, how many miscarriages does that equate to? And a miscarriage, of course, means that the unborn child dies. Instead of being born and living a full life, they die before birth. I'm going to be watching this one closely, because if that is true, this is unbelievable.
I agree. It is unbelievable. I don't think it's a secret from anyone. I was very skeptical during the COVID supposed epidemic. I considered the mRNA crisis. And I personally am not part of the group that has to worry about that, I think. I'm not vaccinated, and I am proud of that. Because I felt it wasn't the right thing for me. It didn't align with my personal beliefs, my religious beliefs, and I just didn't frankly trust what I saw at the time. And it looks like those of us who felt the same way are being proven right. But I want to make sure that I expressed this in a number of meetings over the years. For those who did trust, who did put their faith into the institutions and the systems out there, we should not, this shouldn't be a I told you so moment. We should really look at this with, as Christians, I'm going to tell you, we should look at this as we're here. We should help these people now. These people were lied to, in my opinion. Everyone who got these experimental jabs, they were lied to. And they might be your neighbors, they might be your friends. And I am not the kind to say, I told you so. I want to be there for them. I want to pray for them and hope they make it through this. And hope that everyone I know is someone who doesn't have these kind of effects. But it's a fact that there are millions upon millions upon millions of people who are being impacted by this and have been damaged by it. So we need to get together as Americans and deal with this. And that brings me to this document that has been circulating, and I thought I would just point it out. It's a very large document, more than I want to go over on this podcast, but BMJ Public Health. I haven't gone through a lot of research on the credentials of this report, but it has been circulating. People have been talking about it, and I'm just going to talk about one part of it as a concern, and it appears to have some scientific basis behind it in the research. And that is on this page right here, you will see that they have a cumulative excess death mortality. So the deaths that are in excess of what we would have expected across, in this case, I believe 47 countries. And we're in the millions upon millions. And as you can see from this graph, the number just keeps going up. This is from 2020, January, until the end of 2022. It doesn't even have 2023 in here. I am deeply concerned. There is a lot of speculation out there about what last year's numbers were and what the years 2024 are going to be. And if this curve goes up, this graph goes up with the excess deaths, which are being attributed to the mRNA experimental jab that everyone got. It's horrifying. It is genocide, in my opinion. It is a genocide committed upon the world and the Western world and America. It is definitely not what I want to see. I wish none of this had ever happened. But that's part of what I do on this channel, is to share information so you guys can make your own decisions. And my mission, as many out there know it, is to hold government accountable. And government's was behind most everything that we are still dealing with today, and they need to be held accountable. There are some evil people in it that need held accountable, and that's something I'll never stop trying to do. So this is it's definitely not a happy subject, you guys, but I wanted to get you out there and show you some of the information that I had seen, that it's coming out, and more and more of it is more damning, and it truly appears to be a genocide. And I'm hoping that it gets better, but I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'll update you as soon as I can.